Hey guys, how y'all doing? I'm here to give you guys a recap on the new episode of High School DxD Hero, which is on episode 11. Now this episode here, it looked pretty simple, nothing much I can really give out in full detail, but I gotta say, it was pretty nice. So if anything else, I look forward to the next episode, which I expect the entire place to be filled into a hellish fire pit. So if anything else, let's go. We had to it that Cyrarog ends up taking on Rosa Weiss, Zenobia, and Kiba at the same time. Of course, Cyrarog does take off the limitations on his body, and he ends up having to go all out against the three. Although they managed to get him one time, of course, that's managed to do some damage thanks to Rosa Weiss's help of Zenobia's Excalibur that allows it to be invisible, and managed to damage him a bit. However, Rosa Weiss ends up Cyrarog ends up taking out Rosa Weiss with one punch after she faked her retirement, and she's retired for good. And when it comes to Zenobia and Kiba, they managed to cut off the arm of Cyrarog, but he ends up defeating them with only one arm, and he ends up using some Phoenix Tears to heal himself up. As for Issei, he gets really serious and ends up going after the queen of Cyrarog, who was forced to retire thanks to Cyrarog's instruction, because he was really serious about killing her. And by that time, we have that Cyrarog announces that he forced Kusha to retire because she would have been killed by the Red Dragon Emperor at that rate. And therefore, Cyrarog ends up making a suggestion that we all fight with whatever remaining members we have left. And therefore, Rias accepts, and we see to it that Cyrarog's pawn, which is the Nemean Lion, which is actually one of the sacred gears, and ends up becoming a battle axe after it has been defeated or fought Hercules, and ends up having to be the subordinate of Cyrarog eventually. And we see to it that Cyrarog and Issei ends up fighting each other, and they actually do some damage, but not before Issei managed to cause some major damage to Cyrarog to a point where he's bloody and beaten. As for Issei, we don't really know if he's really bloody or beaten, but he did take some damage. And we have to it that the Nemean Lion asks Cyrarog to don with him. And we have to it that Cyrarog refuses, saying that only if the underworld is really in danger. But Issei convinces him otherwise by saying, I want to fight you at your strongest form. If I can't fight you when you don't fight seriously, what's that going to make me? And we have to that Cyrarog accepts Issei's offer, and he transforms into and fuses and dons Regulus the Nemean Lion armor with his full-on strength, and he tells him to fight him on seriously. And we have to it that Issei ends up using everything he's got to punch Cyrarog, but he blocks it with just one hand alone, and ends up having to deliver a punch to him so hard that Issei gets sent to the world where everyone is trying to convince Issei to use the Juggernaut Drive. And we have to it that Issei was about to do so, but thanks to a boy he used to cheer up by saying boys should not cry, should protect girls, we have to it that Erina decides to tell everyone to cheer him on. And therefore Rias's voice ends up telling Issei that ends up hearing him. And of course, Issei on the other hand gets a visit from the White Dragon Emperor, apparently. And because of him, he was only able to be with Issei because he puts the freaking Albion gem into his body, which took years off his life. And we have to it that Issei, with the help of the White Dragon person, after Issei took the gem and put it into Albion's body, which is freaking 2 seasons ago, if I remember correctly. I think 2 or 3 seasons ago. At least 2 seasons. Season 2 where Issei ends up fighting Valley, and he took his gem and he puts it into part of his power. We have to it that Issei, on the other hand, makes a new freaking chant, and ends up transforming into something much more. Instead of the Juggernaut Drive, he ends up becoming something much more controlled and much more powerful, possibly. And he gets back up without no physical damage or fatigue, and his wings are spread out like red crimson colors. And the next episode is called Maximum versus Power Maximum, Lion Heart of the School Festival. So pretty much in this overall simple episode, if I had to call it, Cyrarog does take out Rosa Weiss, Kiba, and Zenobia, and he ends up taking on Issei and Rias along with his pawn, the Nemean Lion, which is a sacred gear, with the suggestion. And we have to it that after Cyroark gets convinced by Issei to fight him at his fullest, we have to it that Cyroark dons on the armor with the Nemean Lion and ends up beating Issei with one right-hand punch. But Issei, with the help of his friends, instead of the people of the Juggernaut Drive, we tries to convince him to transform into a powerful Chaos Dragon. We have to, he transforms into something much more. So, and the episode ends up there. Next episode's gonna rock out pretty crazy. I know that for sure, because Cyroark and Issei have been dead on heated rivals ever since. So until then, I will see you guys in my next video. So I'm Alpha Zero, people. Have a good day, and I'll see you guys next time, alright? Peace out. Bye-bye. Toot-toot-toot!